Hello, everybody. My name is Amoor. I'm gonna do my best to make Andralik not regret asking me to speak tonight. And I got a really nice mail saying, hey, do you want to talk about your home away from home? Which is a pretty interesting topic for me because I actually currently live in Armenia. So I thought, well, wait a minute, my home away from home is not that far away from home since I'm in Armenia. But then I started to think about what is Armenia and how much it's changing right now. And I thought about all of the different encounters I've had in Armenia. But I want to quickly know, does most people here speak Armenian, right? Because a part of my, okay, well, I'll try to translate whatever doesn't work. And I tried to understand, okay, what is home for me? Because I'm born in Iran to Jewish Armenian parents. I've lived in 6 countries, speak 7 languages, visited 52, like the little slide says. And this whole identity talk that we had in this great story we heard about how people have lived. You know, I really thought about what is it that I feel like, what is my identity? And I realized that actually I'm a physicist. Before anything else, I'm a physicist, and this is the part where I'm gonna try to not get Andy to get me off the stage. But I do understand from a perspective of cultural heritage of Armenian and Jewish. But first of all, I feel myself as very much human. And I've been able to, like a chameleon, as we heard today, feel at home wherever I've gone. But now that living in Armenia, there's such a vibe to the country. There's so much change going on. I've been back in the Netherlands now 4 days, and what I see that most of the energy of the Netherlands goes to preservation. You walk around in the streets, you see people preserving stuff. They're fixing the buildings, they're painting things like they were before. Living in Armenia for the last 3 years, it's insane. The energy of Armenia goes to change. Everybody wants to change something. Everybody that goes to Armenia, it's like they want to build their Armenia in Armenia. You got like American Armenians that go to Armenia and they have their understanding of Armenia, and you know, some of them go and they sit at a cafe and they put out a hookah and they're like, oh my God, this is so Armenian. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, hookah, Armenian? Okay, that works, I guess. You see Syrian Armenians, I have a very close friend, Syrian Armenians that now live in Armenia, and you know, we're walking down this road and it's kind of cobblestone road, and they're like, Aman, Asinka, Halebene. I'm like, what? You know, like every street reminds them of Haleb, and then you go into their quarters and you see like pakhlava everywhere. I'm like, this is not really Armenian. Okay, but it is. But it is. You know, you see the Persian Armenian community going to Armenia, which is, you know, being born in Iran. I have a huge part of my family is from Iran, or came from Iran, so I have a very special connection with them in terms of speaking the language and knowing the culture. Today, I do not, when I speak Armenian today, I don't sound like from Iran. I sound like Hayastansi. So when I meet these Persian Armenians and they're like, not hard, man. Which is a very funny way of speaking Armenian now to me. These are the guys who get charged like 7-8 times the amount they should pay at a taxi, and you know, and you know that I think like, wow, you're Armenian and I'm Armenian. How do I you know, make sense of that? On top of that, I've met the most interesting Armenians, which is the people from Karabakh, which, you know, they are absolutely Armenian because, you know, they say all kinds of, you know, Armenian sentences, like, I'm sure you guys will understand. I have no idea what people speak, because if Karabakh speak Armenian, first of all, their Armenian is not anything intelligible to me. Second of all, they just switched to Russian, which I don't speak a single word of, so that didn't work. So then, recently, we went to this awesome place in Armenia called Yenokavan, and then there, we sat down on a restaurant amazing, gorge, water, just beautiful. We're sitting there eating, this waitress comes to us and she's like, I'm like, I'm like, well, what do you have? And then, and then she said, pliec. I'm like, what? She's like, pliec. I'm like, I don't know what that is. And she's looking at me like, du hai cheers? I'm like, I am Armenian, but I have no clue what this pliec is. So it's some Russian, I mean, it was like potatoes, but I had no idea what she was saying. So what did I come to realize? Even at home in Armenia, I'm actually not home, and I am. It is the chameleon, it is everything. But at a very young age, I started to study physics, and given my mixed history, too many languages, I just realized that I'm an extreme relativist. And having said that, I tried to think about what is Armenian, what is Armenia, what is home, and I realized that the closest definition, and my partner and I had long discussions about this, is, do you speak the language? Because, if you think about all these different Armenians that live in Armenia, are we intelligible to each other? And for my identity of what it meant to be Armenian was, do I live in Armenia? Am I doing something where I can contribute to the country so that my self-sense of what it means to me to be Armenian, because I'm so relativistic about it. I think, people are people. I love AGBU, I love that there's all these movements, I support them, but at its core, I think people are people. When we were at this restaurant, there was it's a border town, bordering Azerbaijan, and you go to the people there and you ask them about the conflict of Azerbaijan. What would you think if the border was open? And he said, well, what I think is we would sell our goods to the Azeris, like we did, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. This is what they say. This is so different on the ground. It's so different than so many of the viewpoints that the diaspora has. And to live in Armenia for the last 3 years, or 2.5 years, I've gotten so much sense of this new Armenia that's emerging. It's been such an important, pivotal part for my understanding and my identity. And tonight, I just would like to tell you guys that Armenia is changing. This is something that you guys know intuitively. You know that it's sort of a developing country, but when you're there, you see the neck-breaking speed of change. It's very exhilarating. Coming back here, I felt like, I was walking down, I was thinking like, there's just people working slowly, doing restoration of things, which is great, because there is a lot to keep here. There's a huge history here. But the excitement of change in Armenia warrants a visit, a very often visit. So what I actually would like to talk about in closure of my speech today is Armenia has a very unique chance now to leapfrog a number of the disadvantages, historical disadvantages that it has had. And you guys can be a big part of that leapfrogging. Go to Armenia, go to centers like Tumo, go to the most interesting, try to find the most interesting people and give them inspiration, give them the things that we've already had some awesome speakers here tonight. I'm really happy I went after the coffee break, so I just had to do better than coffee, because the first 3 were amazing. Stories about what people have accomplished outside of Armenia. So if I can leave you guys with one thing tonight, is try to make as many visits to Armenia, be on the soil, and give the young professionals of Armenia the inspiration and information they would need to leapfrog Armenia's neck-breaking change to the best possible direction possible. Thank you.